Soundstripe.
Snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
And we're rolling. I'm back today with Fraser Campbell. Fraser's about to leave in the middle of June here, so I had a lot of feedback from his last podcast. A lot of positive feedback, actually all positive feedback, really, except for kind of from your brother in the comment section.
No,
I guess.
he liked it. He liked it. He just he had a lot to say, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's all right.
All right.
Brody liked it.
Yeah. So right now, disclaimer at the start, just like last time, if the last episode I did with Fraser, I'll reference it in the show notes. If you guys enjoyed today's show, it's kind of along the same lines, the same themes. It's about Fraser's life. It involves alcohol and drug use and his journey with it, the highs, the lows, the fun, the interesting, and the weird, you know? So, disclaimer again, we are not promoting drugs and alcohol use. We're not glamorizing it. This is a real story. Real alleged stories.
Yeah, alleged stories, right?
Yeah.
You gotta throw that alleged in there.
Exactly. So just learn from him and also just enjoy as well. I mean, take it as a entertainment value as well.
Yeah, I don't want to promote any drugs upon anybody. I don't want to glamorize them or anything like that. I'm just simply stating stories that I've done, like things I've been through.
So right now we actually have some food samples before I get going here.
Yes,
like
we do.
our
They
chef
look
E-Man.
tasty.
Shout
out E-Man.
Yeah, we made some meatballs. So we do sell these at Kaks Bar and Podcast. They're bigger though. Okay, so this is the thing. The order came in a bit different. So these are smaller meatballs.
Yeah.
But but they basically imagine the same thing but bigger. I'm just gonna
Let's have a go.
There we go.
Yeah, let's get that middle one.
All right, I'm gonna dig in myself here.
Oh my god.
It's good, yeah.
Man, that sauce is so good.
Oh, dude.
E-Man. Props, buddy. Props.
Oh man.
Get a close up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's delicious. Yeah,
Yeah.
Give me another one.
Yeah. Actually, now we're just filming us eating.
Oh,
Gotcha.
so
Yeah.
good.
Fuck. Yeah.
That's so good.
Okay. Finish that last one.
You want? Yeah. Okay.
No.
I got you. Let me get some of that green stuff.
Get it.
Yep.
Kind of want to just go have lunch now instead of.
Yeah. Fuck this podcast. Let's go.
Oh man. Okay, let's get back to it. Sorry, man.
Yep.
So Fraser, oh man.
No, take your time. Yeah,
I'll chop out this eating part.
No, you got to keep it.
No, I'll keep the food, but I'll chop out the me and you going. Anyway, so story time. Fill me in.
Story time.
Last time we left off, that was an interesting
I was
one.
thinking maybe I'd start off with because last time I was kicking myself when I watched my last podcast. So I was like, man, you told me about your DMT trip. I should have totally spiked up and told you the story about when I did salvia.
Yeah,
because that was like. It was like something I've never experienced ever before in my life. And
I've allegedly done salvia as well. It is crazy.
Allegedly, right? Allegedly. So when I did that, and again, it was at a young age. It was me and a couple of my buddies growing up. I was 14, I think.
14. Yeah.
I was pretty young. And we just decided we'd do it. And back then you could buy it at bong shops.
Exactly. It's an odd one because back then that was legal.
It was legal.
And weed was not.
Yes.
So that's just something to preface. And it was the most odd thing. But,
it was mind-blowing, really.
Yeah.
What it was.
And why do you think that is, first of all? Do you know? Or I never looked into legalities.
I think it was mainly because it was made by cigarette companies.
Oh, really?
Is what manufactured it, right?
Okay.
They just got the plant and they put it in it was made by big cigarette companies. So technically they called it tobacco, but really it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was salvia. And they told you straight up on the wrapper this is not tobacco, but they sold it as tobacco product, right? Because they never really said that it gave you a trip, but everybody knew it did, right?
Yeah, that's an understatement. Gave you a trip. It's
and
a super trip.
Not only that,
you know?
so back in the day, everybody knew it by X was how they measured it. It was 50X or 100X or whatever. X.
What do you mean by X?
I'm not sure how that measurement
like kind of
works.
X is THC, but
it was
X.
how potent it was.
Okay. Is it on a scale like 1 to 10X?
I don't know. I remember 50X was like barely anything.
Okay.
And then I remember we had 220X.
Okay.
Was what we did.
All right. Carry on. Yeah.
So anyways, yeah. So me and my buddies, we went and bought this, and we bought this other stuff that was kind of cool to smoke, but it didn't get you high. It was called Blue Lotus. I don't think they sell it anymore. It was like a lotus plant, just dried up, and you crush it up into a pipe and you smoke it. Okay. Anyways, so we get this. We go back to my buddy's place, and he had a basement suite at the time, and yeah, we all tried it, and like they tried it first, and both times like they kind of just like had their own experience where like my one buddy was like, oh yeah, just like my body was like felt really weird, and he was like, my mind was all woo.
How long were they like high for? Because it's quick for
like,
me.
Yeah, like a few minutes.
Yeah,
like a few minutes for sure. Mine I think lasted. I think it was like 2.5 or 3 minutes or something like that.
It feels longer.
It felt like an eternity.
But when you look at the clock after, that's the mind fuck.
It felt like an eternity. Anyway, so yeah, so they do it, and both of them kind of like brushed it off. Like I think they just didn't do a big toke. That's what I always said to this day. Was like I was like, I don't think you guys did a big enough one, because when I hit mine, like I was woo. So right away, we walk over to the door. I pack the bowl right tight. I take a bong. I take a toke, pull it, hit it, and then put the bowl back. I turned around. I started walking back towards the couch, and on my walk there, it was like I shot like 200 feet into the air, like, and I could see my like legs, my long legs, like walking, and I was just like so high up from my vision, and I was like, whoa. So then I fell over, and they said, yeah, you fell over onto the couch, because I was like so top heavy. I was like, whoa, and just like on stilts, fall over onto the couch. And then from their experience, so I'll tell you what they saw for the 3 minutes was just this.
They just saw you like.
I just like eyes wide open, mouth gone, jaw down to the floor, just like bug-eyed, just did not move for like 3 minutes. And when I was in it, as soon as I landed on the couch, the coffee table was filled full of like glasses and cans, and there was like an ashtray and stuff. And the bong and everything, and all of that just turned into like this like cartoon cowboy and Indians fighting scene.
Shit.
Right on the like, and it was like they were like killing each other, and they were dying, and like people were crying and stuff. And I'm
were
like,
they talking to you?
No, they weren't talking to me, but I did get talked to, and so I'll get into that as I'm tripping out on the coffee table, just like, whoa, what is going on? And again, I'm like 14. I've never done psychedelics.
I forgot that detail. Sorry, I'm picturing you as an adult. So you're teenagers.
Never done psychedelics in my life. And I'm like full blown tripping. So I freak out a little bit. And I look over to my buddy, and he's sitting on a stool. And when he looked at me, he kind of like started rocking back and forth in the stool. He didn't in real life, but like he's rocking back and forth. And there was a stone, like a fireplace behind him. And in my trip, he falls over, he cracks his head open, and rainbows start spewing out of his head. Jesus. And I'm like, whoa, man. So now I'm freaking out at that, because he's like dying on the floor with rainbows shooting out of his head. And I follow the rainbows, and they go shooting into his big amp that he had. And it wasn't playing music. We had music playing on like our cell phone or something. But he had a big amp because he played the guitar. And I follow it, and it goes into the amp. And then like, boom, from the amp, it shoots out like musical notes that are like flying into the sky, like, and they're all changing colors.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then
this sounds like acid again, too.
I know,
right?
but
well, it also sounds like DMT, like the way you're describing it.
From there, though, like these notes turned into angels. And this is where the angels, like, they came to me, and they started like they were like grabbing hold of me, and like they like just took me, and they were like, come with us, don't worry, come with us. And I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. And at this point, I'm like, I'm dead now, I think, like, because they're just like, these angels are like holding me up, and they're just taking me up with them. And he lived in a basement suite, right? And it just opens up, and I can see heaven, and I can see God and the angels, and everyone's just floating around, and it was like beautiful and just like harmonizing, and like there was like this nice like gentle music playing, and I'm like floating up to heaven. And then I start freaking out, because I was like, I'm dead now.
Leaving heaven.
I was like, now I'm dead. Like, I'm going to heaven. The angels like have me. I'm now above like the apartment. And then boom, I think because I started freaking out, I go back down and there's no angels. It's like the crummy basement. Everything's for real. And my bond buddy sitting beside me on the couch, he's like trying to shake me awake. He was like, hey, wake up, stop. You're freaking us out. Like, and I can see that, but in third person, like a ghost.
Yeah.
Like I was like floating around the room and he was like, Fraser, hey, buddy, you're not breathing, dude. You need to wake up. Like,
you weren't breathing?
Well, it just didn't look like I was because I was so frozen in time, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I could see myself, and I went right down as like a ghost and looked at myself, and I was like, that was when I just like the world just crumbled in on me, and I was like, dude, I'm dead. And then, boom, I came to, and my buddy's shaking me, and I just started screaming. I was like, you don't know. You don't understand. No, you don't understand. And that actually, that whole experience, allegedly, it screwed me up for a bit. For
you're fucking 14.
For a good month after, I didn't know if I was alive or not. Like, I thought maybe I was just like in a different world.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I died. I saw heaven. I was like almost there. You know, like it was crazy. It was so mind-blowing.
It's almost like you traumatized yourself.
I did, kind of, yeah. And I was like skeptical to like start smoking weed again because at that time I was a heavy chronic. Like I smoked weed every single day.
Sorry, this is all when you were allegedly 14.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy fuck, man. That's a lot to take in for like a teenager.
I know. Yeah, it was a lot for sure. Because like I said, for a good month afterwards, like I would be like talking to my mom or like talking to like a friend, and I would literally be thinking in my head like, is this even real? Like, is this real life? Like, am I actually here still? Like, or not? Like, I like had like a loss of like reality for a while. And then eventually I was like, oh, okay, it's not real. It was just a trip. It wasn't even a bad trip. It was a crazy trip. But that's the thing with salvia is it like gets embedded into your memory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like you remember that shit word, like note for note, word for word.
Yep. Yeah,
Like,
I'm going to share my like alleged salvia situation too.
Yeah,
after, but I have a not question, but just almost like a trippy like woo woo theory. But like, what if you did die? What if like this is actually the afterlife from that? You kind of know what I mean? Like,
let me tell you, like I struggled with that for a while after that trip, man. And I came to the realization, honestly, like, and it's the way I just live my life. Is like I just go with the flow. Like I said last time on the podcast, is like. I eventually was like, if this is what I'm seeing right now, you know, then I'm just going to go with it, you know? Like maybe I can't control it anyway. Maybe in that reality I died and now I'm in a different reality. Who knows, right? Like, because I felt real weird afterwards. Like, like I said, for a month, like it was almost like the world didn't seem the same.
Like you weren't sure if you were alive or not for a whole month, basically.
Yeah.
Dude, well, for that, like not sure if you're alive thing, like I almost got in this car accident when I was 19 and not 19. Fuck, I was 24. But anyway, like I'll describe it actually. So I was driving to work. I was working in a warehouse at the time. I had to get up super early. I was living with my parents, and I had to drive up Deerfoot, like across Calgary, to get to the industrial area. And I remember it was wintertime, and I hit black ice on the Deerfoot heading south, and my car did a complete like double 360. I was all the way on the right lane, and I did a double 360, and my car landed into a ditch on the left, or the left side, or it might have been the left side landing on the right side. But I remember seeing a semi truck coming right at me, and then I remember like a blink, like everything just kind of like did like a quick like this, and then I was on the side, like my car was in a ditch. And I had a total, complete panic. Like, I was just like, fuck. And like, I grabbed my phone. First thing I did was I called my mom and I called my dad. Like, just explaining them what happened. You know, they had a momentary freak out until they realized I was on the side of the road. And then I got my car out of the ditch. Mm-hmm. But what I'm trying to relate this to your salvia story was, to this day, I'm not sure if I died that day. Like, because like I swear to fucking God, like I don't. There's like that moment where I went like this, like, I don't know what happened in that.
Like maybe, oh, dude.
Maybe that was it. Maybe that was a wrap. Maybe I actually died right there. And this right now is like a
what a concept
fucking
to think
afterlife.
About, really, like,
and like you, I was fucked up for like a good. I don't remember how long, but it didn't go away for a few nights. I'll tell you that. I remember I was shooken up. I didn't go to work that day. I went home, called my boss, and I remember, and he was, he gave me shit for. Because he thought that I made up that story, right? like, yeah. Right. And then I'm just like, what? I'm like, I'm not coming in. Bye.
Like, sorry, dude. Like, I don't know if I'm living right now.
Yeah, I just said I almost got in a car accident. I remember that prick was just like, but you didn't. So are you coming in or not? And
classic boss move.
Yeah,
right?
And then it was a warehouse. It was like it was a massive receiving day. So like we had to unload a bunch of hot water tanks. I remember. So. But anyway, I didn't go in, and then we ended up like instantly putting on better winter tires. I remember like my dad, I think, I took the afternoon off work. But to relate to your salvia thing, like, all I'm trying to say was, man, like fucking sometimes, like, do we really know, or are we alive, or are we dead? Is this hell? Like,
it's a concept to definitely think about for sure, because, I mean, you reminded me of a crazy story actually. And it's just because you had an accident, it doesn't relate to,
but in the end, there's no accident because like no car got hit.
And you don't even know how you got to the side of the road.
Yeah, I don't know. My brain, I don't know what.
Like you were in the middle of the road, and then
I remember being like, whoa, and I was spinning. I see the semi, and then I'm on the side.
Wow.
Like it was. I can still see it. Like you said, the salvia thing was singed in your memory.
Yeah,
I'm remembering it verbatim. Like it's clear. Like the way I'm seeing your face right now, I'm seeing this. Like I can point out, but the only thing I can't point out, was I on the right side of the road swerving left, or was I on the left side of the highway swerving right? Yeah. That's something I still can't fucking, like, my memory is kind of like, I'm like, was I in a ditch on the left side or right? Like, I'm still kind of like, that part is blurry. Like, I just remember seeing a bunch of white and snow. Yeah. So right now, that's the only thing. But then again, who the fuck knows even what I saw there if I can't recall that? Like, memory is a fickle thing too, right?
Yeah.
But emotionally, I still remember because I'm kind of bringing it up right now. I'm like, kind of getting some goosebumps, like, because I just remember being like at that time thinking like, I don't want to die. Like I was so young, there's so much coming ahead, and like
that's what.
But now sometimes I'm like, although I'm a happy guy now, and I have a lot going on in at Kaks podcast and hanging out with Fraser, like the older you get, there's so many problems in life sometimes that you're like, if I died.
And that's why.
At least I don't have to deal with all the negative stuff.
My thing is just like, just go with the flow, folks. Like just. Maybe I did die, maybe I didn't, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but this is what we're doing right now, and you got to make the best of it. In the end, it doesn't matter if I can't tell the difference. No. That's kind of why the Matrix thing is also a really interesting theory. Like, does it really matter if we're in a simulation or not if you can't tell the difference? Like, it actually doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't really. I live a pretty good life. I like it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm drinking some proper 12 whiskey here. That's delicious.
Actually, I'm gonna go refill right now, real quick, and I can chop this part out so we can.
Okay, yeah, do it.
Sweet.
I was saying though about how you reminded me of like a crazy story, and I mean, like, I know we're getting into like the whole dying, and I was talking about angels is what I saw in heaven and stuff. I don't know if it's like a guardian angel or not, but like I've also like there's been so many times where I have cheated death. And one of like the most ones that sticks out to me is it was the second car accident. In the first car accident we totaled 3 cars because we were going like 80 clicks, didn't hit the gas or didn't hit the brake.
How old were you and where
was this? This is in Calgary. I was like, I don't know, like 20, 21, maybe 20.
Okay.
But me and my buddy, I'm living with my buddy, and we total his one car, which is funny, actually. We were checking out 2 chicks walking by, and we both rubbernecked hard. The light was red. Boom.
Fuck.
Yeah, and we crushed their car. Their car crushed into another car because we were going like 80 clicks.
So were you driving or your buddy?
No, my buddy was. I've never been in an accident.
That
I've been.
That you caused or whatever.
I'm a good driver, folks.
Me too. Like,
anyways, so a month goes by. He gets a rental car, right? Because his insurance, and so we're driving this rental car. A month to the day, literally to the day. Like, I'm not bullshitting that. It was to the day. We decided it was a nice hot summer day. We were like, let's go pick up his girlfriend. She lived in a different place, just over kind of by Marlborough area. So we were like, let's go. We'll drive down to that ice cream shop in what is it? Cochrane. You know
Okay,
that, that ice
yeah.
cream place?
Yeah. Calgary's famous for their ice cream shop. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, we'll go get some ice cream on this nice sunny day. And I'm sitting in the passenger side. We drive there. She comes out. I hop out. So just to get reference, I walk around the front of the car for some reason, rather than just hopping in the back seat. I walk around the front of the car, open the door, and he was looking for a job at the time. So he had like 4 resumes sitting on the seat, which I could have just like picked up and tossed over to the other side. But for some reason, bizarre, like unexplainable reason, I was like, I'll just close the door and I'll walk back around to the other side now. So I walked all the way around the car, get in the other side. We pull out of the driveway and I get a text right away. So I don't put on my seatbelt. And I get a text and I'm reading the text. And the next thing I know is I'm flying through the air and I don't remember anything until I came to. We got T-boned and the guy was going about 95 clicks. And he blew the stop sign and he was drunk behind the wheel because they found a bottle of Jack Daniels. He T-boned us and we like flipped like twice.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so I got thrashed in the back seat. And the whole side where he hit, right where I should have got in, it was like obliterated.
Okay, like so again, like when stuff like that happens, like
so it was
how do you not believe in God or something or something?
It's wild because so when that happened, like I really didn't, and so I came to, I'm like covered by all of the stuff that was in his car, and I'm like trying to get out, and I'm like climb through all the rubble and stuff of like just the things that were in his car, and I come to, and there's smoke because the car's on fire.
Did anyone die in this story?
No, and I start kicking out the front windshield, and I'm like kicking with everything I have, and they're struggling to get out of their seatbelts because we're upside down.
Yeah,
and I'm the only one that wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so I'm upside right, and they're stuck, and they're like freaking out, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to get you.
So
and
in a weird way, it was good you didn't wear your seatbelt.
In a sense, and honestly, I probably would have got screwed up more if I wasn't, and because I got knocked out right away as soon as we hit concrete. I think because my window was open too, and I had a little cut on my head. So they said, they were like, you probably like hit the concrete with your head. Because I remember flying though, like I remember like lifting up off of my seat, like whoop, and then nothing. But anyway, so I'm kicking away the windshield, and boom, these 2 arms coming to just pull me. They pull me out. There was these 2 African American fellows just walking by, and they saw the whole thing. They were our main witnesses and everything. They were like, it was a hit and run. We tried to chase. The one guy tried to chase the one guy down, and he eventually gave up because his buddy got away. But the other guy saved all of us. He had a pocket knife on him. He cut them out of their seatbelts. We all got away scot-free. My back was a little screwed up for a while, and I had a pretty good concussion from it. But other than that, I was pretty good. But the thing that tripped me out the most, so like I'm not thinking about nothing. I'm sitting there on the grass. The first responders, the EMS, show up, and they were like, do you need help? And I was like, not really. You should check on her because she was crying and stuff. And I was like, you should just check on her. I'll be fine. And they were like, were you the guy in the back seat without the seatbelt? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, you're lucky to be alive right now. And because they're looking at the car and everything. And I was like, yeah. And I just kind of like sloughed it off. And then fire truck showed up next. And they were like, you're the guy that was in the back. Like a couple of the dudes walked up and they were like,
you're constantly reminding me. Yeah, I was the guy that didn't wear the seatbelt.
You're the guy that was in the back with no seatbelt. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, you're lucky to be alive, son. And then they walked away. And then the one that hit me was when I filled out my police report and handed it to the cop, and he reads it. And he was like, so you're the guy that was in the back seat with no seatbelt on? And then he was like, you're lucky to be alive. And I was like, I just started crying. And I like fell to the ground, and I called every single one of my family members and just was like, I love you guys so much. Like, I'm sorry. I'm starting to like tear up a little bit.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I'm so like, that fucked my life up, that was a real turning point, kind of like where I was like, I need to start making changes, dude, because like I'm taking life for granted, like just doing stupid things. That was a real there's gonna be a better day now. Like,
I'm glad you're alive, man.
No, like that was scary because like all 3 first responders were all shocked that I was even alive, and it was like, dude.
Okay, so like, because you grew up a Jehovah's Witness, and then you left the church. Yeah. And then all these survival moments. I don't know. Does that ever fuck with you? Maybe
a little bit.
You're like, oh, maybe
A little bit.
go back to the church.
I mean, I like to believe. Sometimes you just see some things, you know, and I've seen a lot in my days, you know, and you just see, like, for me, it's when I'm in nature and you just like enjoying a nice waterfall, you know, and you see like,
oh, so good, Shaft, baby, Shaft.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you know, like it's when you're like,
I'm so insensitive. I'm like, oh, this Shaft's great. after like,
I'm like trying to like get all in depth.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, like it's for me when it's like in nature, you know, like you're just enjoying it. You see like a nice buck run across the field or something, and then a doe or whatever, you know, and you're just like sitting there just enjoying it. You're like, man, how did that come from a big bang? You know, and like, I don't know what I believe in. I don't know if I want to put any. I've always said like, there's gods in everyone, and God is love, because that's what the Bible says. Is like God is love. You know, like and like so if you just love everybody, if you just are nice, if you're like a good guy and you're a good person in general, then we are God. You know, like we can be God. We can be a good world. You know, like it's a good way to think about it, because it's like, why, like, I don't know. Corruption and stuff, like I just don't believe in it. Like you shouldn't have it, but it happens. Obviously, that's what the world's made of. But
yeah, this is an interesting Saturday morning vibe here.
Yeah, sorry, I know we're just trying to tell like.
Oh no, dude! Oh no, dude! That's not it. Like again, podcasts are conversations, not interviews, and not like you're not supposed to make shit up.
Scripted.
Not scripted. This is like you telling you keeping it real and telling me stuff.
I do struggle with the whole God thing, though. I do, because
but who doesn't though? Right?
Yeah,
you know, because I mean, I think too many people. They're just like what you just said there was beautiful, and I have heard that explanation before, and I've experienced my own kind of revelations in that trajectory. I guess people are just more when it comes to that they're taking it literal. They're like, oh, is there actually like a super powered entity that can like do what Thanos does from like Avengers and I think that's what they're kind of like stuck in. But I don't know, man. I definitely think everything happens for a reason now.
100%.
Like we're all tied into something now. I don't think people take that misunderstanding. Like I used to think that way.
It's not just chaos in the streets. Everything happens for a reason.
But I used to think things happen for a reason. Like as in like, oh, it's always supposed to work out good. No, like you're intricately connected. Like it might be your destiny to have a tragedy. You know, like because it's supposed to, like Batman's origins, like. Thomas Wayne had to die to create Bruce Wayne to, like there's like Thomas Wayne was going to die no matter what.
Man. I lost my dad at 13, right? When I hit puberty, dude.
Yeah,
when I needed dad the most, but it shaped me into who I am today, because it's like, I don't need anybody now. Like, and I didn't need a dad. I don't need a dad. I wanted a dad, obviously. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't, but it's like, that tragedy shaped me to be the man that I am today.
Yeah. You've had a lot of like, things that shape you that not like most normal people don't
quite a few.
Like they don't have the same experiences like that, or maybe they do. Fuck, what am I saying? Too. Yeah. Well, you got your head. You're a good guy, and like and you're
Thanks, man.
And you're man, fucking pound that. Yeah, like no, like good energy, great energy. Like that's why like I reached out. I wanted to catch you one more time before you bounce.
Grand opening too.
Yeah, grand opening today at Kaks Bar and Podcast. By the time again this podcast comes out, we'll have opened already. But Fraser, I feel like really like clicked as friends. Like just off the jump. So man, dude. Like if I'm ever in Vancouver Island, giving you a shout if you're still there. I mean, some tells me you're
dude. If you ever come by Vancouver Island, hit me up. We'll go fishing. For sure. Fishing. Or we'll just have a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll do some salvia.
I've only done it that once, because honestly, the experience that it gave me, like I said, it messed me up for a bit. So I was like, I don't know if I want to fuck with that. The only other time I ever tried it was like 10 years later. I found the same bag of salvia that I had that time, because we only had one hit each, and then we were done. But the bag they sold us was like a full bag like this.
For a group, almost like
it was a lot, and it was only like $15 or something crazy.
I was gonna. I'll tell you about my salvia story, but keep going. Keep.
Well, no, I was just saying I only hit it the one time. I think I had like very little amount. I smoked out of a pipe, and all it did was give me like a really good body high, where I was like, boo, like I felt like I was buzzing. I was just like, boo. And I sat down on my bed and I was just like, okay, yeah, let's just lay here for a bit and we'll be fine, you know? And then like a couple minutes went by and I was like, yeah, it's going now. All right. I don't need to do that again.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I threw it in the garbage after that. I was just like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah. Well, but it's not like a recreation thing. It's like a whatever revelation.
It's like
thing.
a one-hit wonder, you know? Like you do the one full toke. And I held it in for 20 seconds, or I held it in until I was like, which is what you're supposed to do, right? Like when you can't any longer, and then it hits you, and you're like,
yeah. I do want to point out though, it's like again, like because like
allegedly,
yeah, like in the last podcast, I remember I told you about the DMT trip, and then like the hero dose of mushrooms, like it's like, but even that, unfortunately, this is the unfortunate part. Even that, as well as like near death experiences. I've noticed like with life stresses and shit, like even that, it still doesn't what's the words I'm looking for here? It doesn't permanently have an effect. You still forget about it sometimes. It's crazy. Like, cause sometimes I have to like pinch myself and be like,
some people, we're different, right? Some people, they do one hit and they're gone forever, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
And it messes up forever.
You're right. You raise a good point.
They're missing a circuit in their brain now because they did one hit.
Yeah.
I've seen it, you know, like.
Yeah, you raise a good point. Like
but we're one of like the few, I guess, that like I've done a lot of drugs allegedly, and and somehow I walk out of it and I'm like, it's still me. I'm still all right.
Yeah, but what I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, because like every time I've done having those experiences, I keep thinking in my head like, well, how can I ever be angry again or whatever? Because like there's a greater thing that just happened, but then it happens. Like next, you know, you literally forget. As amazing and profound as those experiences are for me, all of a sudden a week goes by, you're paying your bills and working again. All of a sudden you're just like watching TV and then you catch yourself being like, wait a minute, like that was so profound that basically human beings can forget anything. I'm starting to like think like,
dude, I think about it all the time.
It's like, yeah, like you do, but like I noticed for me, I just all of a sudden, hey, back to watching basketball or a fight or like, and then it's like. That's something that profound. I actually can just like not remember it for like that for another day. And I'm on a theory here.
Yeah.
I think that this is a really, I don't even know if I created this theory. I'm sure I did not. I'm sure someone else has the same experiences, but I think that I got to really reach into my brain power here and pull its capacity to put the wording into what I'm about to say, because it's like something that trips me out. But I think that we're like a million versions of ourself, like a catalog, you know, like catalog an old library, and then each day we're just pulling out a different version for that day, and then that's the version. And then some days you're bundled up in that catalog, like this is psychedelic Shawn, this is athlete Shawn, this is party Shawn, this is business Shawn, and it's like today's business Shawn is like the storyline, and then that day I'm just focused on business, and it's, today this is psychedelic Shawn, and then like that day I don't care about business, and then this day I'm spiritual Shawn. It's like,
holy fucking shit, dude, you're literally like reading my mind, bro.
Yeah, like so sometimes
look at me, look at how different I look right now, even from being on the last podcast.
Yeah, like we're but the catalog
is the same fucking way where I'm like, but there is no way to just to singly describe me as like, that's the guy.
Well, physicists believe that like our cells are actually interfacing with reality, constantly coming together and coming apart. Like, so you and I are kind of like if we, and then computer people are explaining it as ones and zeros, like we're like like, you know, like so we're like, yeah, like we're just, so that's why one day you can be like, we're not bipolar, we're multipolar, you know, like we're literally the different fucking person, just with a similar name that day for
like, I can, you know, definitely I can relate to what
like that's saying. The best way I can articulate what I'm saying. So that's why, because like again, like when you do these salvia trips, there should be no reason why nothing else is more profound than that after that experience. But then yet 2 days later, you're back to, hey, yo, that chick's hot. And like thinking like an idiot.
Dude, I was going back to high school and like going and doing tests. And I was like, no, like this isn't real. Like, am I real? Like,
yeah. Like it's like, but and then
I don't need to write this test. And then I like, honestly, I think I've walked out like of like numerous classes just because I was just like, this isn't real. I don't have to be here. like you failed.
Yeah, but there's also layers of subconscious. You're also like, I'm actually not ready for this test, so I'm gonna think I'm not real. Yeah, no, Fraser. It's like life does trip me out if I sit there and really think about it for too long. But then again,
that's a great, that's a crazy theory, but not crazy. It's a profound theory. And I can relate to it with the whole like categorizing, because like look, like,
but it's an endless catalog. Like it's not like you have 10 Shawns.
One day,
because it keeps creating as you grow and evolve.
Yeah,
like it's like, but someone who's a simpleton, who just has the same routine, like their catalog is this small.
That's okay.
But then,
bro.
but
They're
like,
happy.
but I know
if they're
mine.
Happy.
Yeah, like
if they're not happy, then hey, get out of your bubble.
But it also ties into everything happens for a reason. Maybe God as an entity. If we're all like, if we are God, it's like just like the body. If God is a totality of everything, and it's to exemplify it, like my body is God. Like someone's the pinky, someone's the eye, someone's the eyelash. Like we're all interconnected to form the functioning machine.
They're all you, but they're all like
right. And then the catalog thing might be like, your like catalog within the 10 fingers, like which one are you today? The thumb, the pinky, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like my brain spins so hard on itself sometimes that I have trouble explaining shit. But then I'm a complete dummy with like something like that I just have no concept of, like just whatever.
That doesn't mean you're a dummy. That just means you have space to learn.
Yeah, or I have zero.
There's so many.
Or zero focus on that thing.
Times I've been in rooms with millionaires. And carried conversation, you know what I mean? And when I walked out of the room, I was like, I cannot believe I talked to a billionaire, two billionaires in one night, and it was my birthday.
Sweet,
yeah,
sweet.
They were at my birthday.
Who are these people? You're partying billionaires?
Yeah, dude. That's another story.
Tell it, man. I might not see you for a while.
It was Mexico. My ex-fiance's, her stepdad was like, he's super fucking
okay,
nice.
So hold on. You got engaged again after the alleged
that was why we got divorced. Me and the Filipino, because I was like,
right. Did you did you tell that part in the other one? I can't remember now.
I just said we got divorced.
Yeah, no, but like, did you tell me you met your other fiance after that? I just no. Okay. So
I think I left her out of it.
Okay, cool.
She even, it's funny, she reached out too and was like, you should have talked more about things we did. And was like,
well, here you go. Here's ex-fiance. Here's the platform.
I won't name her or anything.
No. But honestly, you can.
There's that story. Yeah, in Mexico, I was literally talking to this one guy, and he had such a nice watch on. And I walked up, so it was my birthday, and my birthday often lands on Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay.
He's a huge football fan. The stepdad, millionaire, and
he probably knows
Mexico. He's got a luxury beachfront place.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, private beach, everything.
Sick.
All 9 yards.
Sick.
So we were out there, and it was my birthday, Super Bowl Sunday, like it often is every other year. And he bought me a $1,500 bottle of fucking tequila.
Fuck.
That I drank in that one night. And I was like, dude, it was actually on Most Expensivest Shit by 2 Chainz. Have you ever seen that YouTube show?
No, I know what 2 Chainz is, but no, I've never seen
he's got a YouTube show that's called Most Expensivest Shit. And he just, every episode he does, okay, most expensivest this, most expensivest that. And this bottle of tequila, is on Most Expensivest. And he got it for me, and it was nuts. Anyways, so I was talking to him, and he's talking about like selling like his totem pole to the airport.
Sorry, I was trying to get
and
comfortable
shit
here.
like that. Like, like he was literally like, and I just started the conversation like, hey, what kind of watch is that? Because he was wearing a really nice watch, and me and him just hit it off. We're talking about like native art and like BC art, because he was like, my favorite house that I own is in BC. It's on the island, Vancouver Island. He was like, it's my favorite place. And he was like, and I bought I can't remember the artist. Man.
Banksy.
No, it's a Native American
totem.
Sorry. It's a totem pole
Okay,
artist.
my bad.
Alan something.
Okay.
It's going to drive me nuts. Anyways, he was like, I just bought a piece for like $750,000. And he was like, and the airport of the Victoria wants to buy it from me, but they lowballed me with $500K. And he was like, and I said, I want at least 1.2 million. And I was like, just I can't believe
these numbers.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds right. And then he's showing me pictures, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's very high quality, like, and I'm like, just freeballing,
Yeah.
I was just like, like, when are you ever gonna say you did this? And then we actually went out for dinner with the one guy. I didn't know at all until like 2 days later when he showed up, and the stepdad was like, "Hey, I want you to we need to be on our best behavior today because I'm trying to win this client over." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I was like, "How much is he worth?" And he was like over like $5 billion. And I was like, "Oh, fuck." Crazy. All right, yeah, no tequila shots. Yeah, no, I've done a lot of crazy shit.
You have an interesting life, man.
Yeah,
You really do.
Man.
I guess we all
so that
do.
Guy,
in
that
a
guy,
way.
that was why I said I would talk to 2 billionaires and carry conversation, was because that one guy, we're just talking, and later on that night, I found out that he was also worth like 10 billion or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Do we want to even name his name or
no? No.
Good.
Not at all.
Good. See, that's respect. That's
Yeah.
respect. You know, like some stories, just you wanna keep it sacred like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like also when you bump into someone famous. Like I've had that a couple times where you kind of like, oh shit, I didn't know you were like that. You know,
Yeah.
and then you're, you know what? That's something the public doesn't need to know
and like
about.
honest to God, the only thing that
At the end of the day, they're all humans.
Yeah.
They're just regular
Dude,
people.
the only thing that stood out on this billionaire too was his watch, and it was just because it was so mechanically it was large too, so you could see all the mechanical shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just so cool the way it was, and I saw it across the room, and I was like, I got to go compliment that guy on his watch. But other than that, he was wearing like a no-name blue T-shirt and like no-name shorts and sandals.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing flashy.
That's totally like my style too.
Yeah.
Like, as I progress,
Yeah.
I do like watches as well. I mean, this
Yeah.
one's gifted to me from my from E-Man from Chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Ballin'.
Yep. I like it. Bang bang. Anyway, carry on, man.
Yeah, so
like,
I do have one story that I promised my buddy I'd tell. He wanted to hear it on the last one. And when he watched it, he was like, I can't believe you left that out. And I was like, you're right. That was a good story.
All right. I'm getting nice and comfy.
This one's kind of like, it's just funny. It's a funny story. But it's also like, I can't believe the way that it turned. Because anyways. So yeah, again, this was when I was doing a lot of coke. And it's like
allegedly,
yeah, I allegedly did it. So yeah, it's me and 2 other buddies, and we're sitting in my apartment on the 24th floor of 4th Street and 6th Street and 4th Ave.
Mm-hmm. 11th Street and 9th.
Anyways, it was down there, 24th floor. So like we're up there. We were high, and yeah, we're just busting out rails, having a good time. I listen to everything under the sun. So I listen to like opera, I listen to classical, I listen to rock and roll, metal, death metal, rap, EDM,
K-pop,
everything. Yeah, K-pop. I can fuck with it.
Yeah.
You know, I listen to everything, punk, top 40, you name it.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I fuck with T-Swizzles.
Yeah, me too.
Anyways, so I was playing music and Avril Lavigne came on, Skater Boy.
Oh yeah.
And we all start just howling, Skater Boy. He said, see you later, boy.
Yeah,
he doesn't do enough for her. You know, like we're just
Avril's awesome,
getting into it. And like
Avril's
all
awesome.
like we were with the boys. It was me and 2 other like my homies. You know,
Nothing
so
wrong with that, man.
we were belting. And our screen door opens and this chick rolls in.
Screen. Oh, so she scaled your balcony?
Like, what the fuck? And I'm like we got the plate out on the fucking thing, like a big mirror that we were busting lines off of. And I'm like throwing it under the thing. And she was like, no, keep it out. Hit me up with one. And I was like, where the fuck did you just come from?
You Spider Woman?
Like,
or
what the fuck? And she was like, she starts singing Skater Boy, and she's just like, I said,
okay, how does she?
This is my jam.
How does she look? Like
she's pretty cute, you know. Like
okay.
honestly, so we're all.
I'm imagining like just a crazy crack whore, and then like shit that scaled the 24th floor.
She was pretty cute, you know. Like I was definitely like, I want to get in that.
Okay, so was she? How did she get on the 24th floor under your balcony? Like,
get to that.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm jumping. Like, yeah.
So like right off the bat, we're in shock, and I'm just like, what in the? And she's just like singing along, and then she was like, come on, boys, let's dance. And I'm like, yeah. So now we're dancing, and then like 2 seconds later, we get a knock on the door, and this chick just like I opened the door and she just walks in, and she's like just pretend like it was almost like she just like knew like we were friends. She was just like, oh, how's it going? Good song, yeah. And then she's just like grooving out, like,
So
yeah.
you and your buddy and 2 chicks.
Yeah, and like they're both like, because we're all like
Yeah.
And so like we're like, what the fuck is going on here? Are we getting punked?
Yeah.
And fucking the one chick, as mid dancing, she's just like starts pissing right there. She's just pissing her pants, and she's wearing jeans, and like it's just like clear as day.
Is she cute too? Or?
Yeah, they were both pretty cute, you know. So like it was.
I don't know why it makes it okay now.
I call it the pissy pants story because it was just so weird. And this was the chick, and so this is what. So then I started asking. I'm like, okay, where did you guys come from? Like,
yeah,
like what? And she
on?
was like, this one climbed across the balcony, which there was a divider that you had to like reach around and climb around.
I'm not afraid of heights, but like I'm getting clammy. Like
24 stories, dude. That's high, man.
Hey,
like I used to spit off the balcony, and it would like catch wind and go like way across.
So she was obviously partying too, and keep going. Like keep going.
I don't know if she was. She ended up doing her line because she was like, no, let's give me one, you know.
Okay, like, but if she wasn't partying, she was sober and just decided.
Wasted.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because I'm like
she was wasted. Because she pissed her pants right there in the middle of the fucking floor in the living room.
Sorry, the one who pissed her pants was the one that came through the door.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, but what about the one that...
She just was there, and she was kind of like a little more, but she was like, she was still like in the mood. And then as soon as she pissed her pants, she was like, we got to take her home. And I was like, well, where do you guys live? You know, and they were like, oh, we're on the other side of the hallway. And I was like, okay, cool. So I like walked the other one and them over. And then I roll into this apartment, and there's just like 6 or 7 chicks living in this apartment, and they're all pretty hot.
The fuck is
and I was like
there is a god.
This is awesome. And they're all drunk except for one. The one was like, she was like, you guys need to go to bed. Get this guy out of here. And I was like, oh god. And then I was like, do I gotta leave? Like if you want me to leave, I'll leave. And they were like, no, stay. So like we poured a drink with. It was just me because my other 2 buddies were like, no.
What's wrong?
I don't know. They were kind of like,
okay, whatever. I just
I'm
feel
the kind
like
of guy go with the flow. So I was like, fuck it.
This feels like a missed opportunity, fellas.
Yeah, but nothing ever happened because they got really drunk, and
you were also just like next level. Like
I was really fucking high, you know. And then, but before you knew it, like we like got her into a new pair of clothes, and then fucking. I was like, let's fucking hang out. Let's have some drinks. We start having some drinks, and we're all just having a good time. And then, boom, before you know it, like, they're all asleep. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to go home then. Yeah. Like, I thought I was getting fucking late, but...
0 for 7.
Yeah, dude. It was weird. There was, like, a shitload of chicks. They were all drunk, too, and, like, just, like, wanted me to stay. And I was like, this is going to be great. And then it was like...
Yeah, dude, you know, when you bring that up, it's like, think of it from the girl's perspective. If there's 7 of them having a girls' night and one guy comes through, the one who ends up hooking up, the other 6 are going to judge her. You know what I mean?
I guess.
So like, yeah, like I mean, we're not thinking from their perspective. We're thinking from ours as in, wow, there's 7 options.
Like, wow, you scaled the fucking balcony to fucking come jam out with us, and then you didn't even put out, and you pissed your pants in the middle of my floor, like that I had to clean up because it went everywhere.
Yeah,
it was like it was a long piss.
Man, Fraser, I gotta apologize. I'm mixing up the details. I thought you said there's 2. One scaled the balcony, the other one came through the door.
Yeah, the one came through the door just to be like, "Hey, my friend's over here."
Oh, okay. And
so then she was like hanging out.
The one who pissed herself was also one that scaled the balcony. Yeah. Makes sense. Sorry, because in my brain, I had a couple shafts just now, so like no, it's like fair. I mixed it up. That's why I was like, this is peculiar. The one that scaled the balcony was fucked up.
She was really drunk and she peed herself in front of everybody.
She is lucky she didn't fucking die.
I know. Like, that's what I mean. Like, and I was like blown away when they were like, she just climbed across the balcony. It was like, what? Like what? And then just like rolled in, like she was like, "This is my jam."
Skater boy.
I was like, "Oh my god, well, it's my jam too. Like let's party." And then it didn't work out, but that was a crazy story.
That is fucking
my
crazy.
buddy
man.
told me he wanted me to tell it because I think that one was one of like the craziest stories that like me and him got into with. And he was like, "I can't believe you didn't tell that one." And I was like, "It's a good story, but it was like whatever." It didn't end in my favor. It ended with me like, "Well, fuck, I guess I'll leave," because like a couple of them passed out on the floor. The ones that lived there went to their bedrooms, and then like other ones were just like passed out on the couch, and I was just like, "Okay, I guess I'll just go." And then when I went back to my place, there they are, just still doing rails in the living room, and I was like, "Well, that didn't work, boys." Like,
yeah,
they were like, "Yeah, you were only gone like an hour." I was like, "Yeah, they're all fucked up, man."
yeah, I got nothing. I'm just enjoying this, and that's unlike phenomenal life experiences as well as just like odd. Really like but then again, man, when I was like I've been hammered before allegedly, where my friends and I allegedly did buildering. Do you know what that is?
Buildering?
Yeah, it's when you climb buildings.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
no, I've never tried that.
Yeah, my one buddy's
free solo. Like
yeah, my one buddy's actually like a pro climber. But when we were like just fresh out of high school, we would get hammered, and we would allegedly go buildering just around like high schools and junior highs. Now, like we never got to the buildering was more of just like you're not trying to get as high as you can, just trying to the skill of scaling, working with nothing, figuring out how to get from the floor to the third level or whatever. Yeah. But my one buddy though, he scaled the high school, so the high school was like 4 levels. But in hindsight now, yeah, we were drunk, and if he fell, that would have been it. Dude, I didn't have the balls to do that.
I watched a crazy video yesterday, actually, that like kind of shook me to my core. I hate those videos where like people die, but like this one was like especially bad because it was like, buddy got swept out to sea, and there was nothing they could do, and you just hear his friend like screaming his name.
And someone's recording this.
And someone was recording it, but like they recorded like him because he goes down to the shore and and it's a lifeguard like talking about it, and he was like, "Hey, like sometimes you got to know when not to go in, and this is a time when it's like, no, you don't go in,
because then 2 people would have died."
Yeah. And then he was like, and then not only, but the way he was, because he's coming from a lifeguard's perspective, where he was like, I'm a lifeguard, I go in, and now I'm stuck, and now all my lifeguards are coming in because they need to save their brother now, right? Their brother in arms, and it's like that's when you got to know when not to go in. But it was such a heart-wrenching video because like you see, buddy. He's having a blast. He's posing in front of the waves. And then one just comes and sweeps his legs right under. And he goes in. And then you see him come up. And he's like trying to get back to the rock. And then next time you see him, he's way out there by the other rock. And his friend's standing there just screaming, John, no, John. Like, and it's just like, oh my God. Like I literally cried, man. I was like, this is so sad. And then he's showing the video and talking about it and like talking about like this is why like it's really important to stay away from stuff like that. But then he was like at the end of it, he was like, this man was never seen again. And I was just like, whoa, dude, like scary, man. Like
yeah, man,
that's scary.
That reminds me of my when I was
I just got reminded of that because like you said, in a second you can just be fucking gone. And I know because I've gone through so many situations where it's like I should have died or something. Like if one thing had to happen differently, there I am gone. Like
that's
life is a blessing, man.
Yeah, or it is, and then depending on which catalog of you are that day, maybe it's a karma as well. But dude, I remember I was in Ireland visiting. I've got cousins in Ireland. Cool. Yeah, half Asian, half Irish.
My best
cousins.
friend lives in Ireland now.
Yeah. So I was out in Lahinch. Shout out to Lahinch, Ireland. It's a surf town out there. I don't surf, but my cousin took me and my buddy out there when we were visiting him, and he doesn't surf either. But we got a little crash course. But I just do remember like the wave took me out like real far out, like against my will. Like took everything I had to like paddle like reasonably back within range. So I can like that shore thing that you just said is that's kind of fucking my brain now because like you're right, like it's game over. That's a wrap, and it's like a slow death. You know what I mean? You're like
he was never seen again. You know, like just to think, it's like, dude, they never found the body, so he probably got a lung full of water, sank, and is like just fish food.
Hey man, or like Ariel was like just swimming by and was just like, hey guy, come here, and he's just like, what?
You're my new
He's
friend.
like, yeah, I want to suck your dick.
Oh,
It's just like all of a sudden he's an expert like deep diver. It's like buddy was never seen again, but like and then it's like a flashback. He's in Atlantis now, partying with Aquaman, not Amber Heard, and
fuck that bitch,
and Ariel and everything. So maybe it worked out for him. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. Fraser, okay, so we did an hour here. Like, do you have any more? Like those were those the main ones that you were like conjuring up in the chamber there to pull off here?
Yeah, I got another one that I was gonna tell.
Do you want to tell it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's finish off on that one.
So yeah,
one more story time.
This one's like, again, this was the. I'll just straight up say it, allegedly, this was the second time I did meth. Because remember I told you about the first time on the last podcast.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
So this next story, I wake up. Me and my brother hung out that the night prior. So I woke up on his couch, and it's like 9 a.m. Normal morning, waking up on my brother's. We cook some breakfast. We're eating breakfast. I get a phone call. Or no, yeah, I get a phone call, and it's my roommate, and he's like just hammered. He's like, we're rallying the boys, all right? You need to get here. We're gonna go play some football, man. We're rallying the boys. Come on. And I was like, Randy, come on, dude. Or sorry, Roger.
I'll blur that out.
I was like, I'm not gonna come there. But then I heard a bunch of people in the background, and I was like, who the fuck's with you right now? And he was like, I don't know. He was like, a bunch of people. And I was like, who? And I'm living with them, and they're in my place. And I was like, Randy, who the hell's with you? Oh, God damn it.
I'll blur it out. Don't worry.
I was like, who the hell's with you? And he was like, I don't know. And he couldn't give me a straight answer. So I was like, I'll be there in like 20. So I hang up. My brother gets a call from my roommate, and he's like,
I thought you were about to say the name again.
He's like, we're rallying the boys. And he was like, dude, I've got my kid, his son. And he was like, he's a boy, bring him. He's like, we're rallying him. Come on. And like, just wasted. And I was like,
how old's the son?
Like 4 or 5 at this point, I think. So it was just like a stupid phone call. Like, it was just like,
actually,
wow.
I don't even know why I'm making that face, because like laws have changed. Things are rather interesting now. Like, for example, just when you go to bars now, you can literally see a baby sitting at the wood because liquor licenses. So things are So anyway, go on.
Either way, though, I don't think it's
probably not the best.
It's probably not the best, right? Anyways, so it's like it was 10 a.m. and I was like, buddy, where are you going to rally the boys? And he was like, liquor store just open, buddy. We're liquor steward is what he said. He said liquor steward because he couldn't talk straight. He was so wasted. Anyways, I was like, okay. I hung up and I was like, okay, I need to get home right now. I don't know who's in my house. Sure enough, I roll in. I've never seen any of these people before, ever in my life. And there's 2 pretty hot chicks, like pretty good looking. And there's 2 dudes and then my roommate. And I rolled in, I brought a case of beer because I was like, I'm going to roll in like, hey, how's it going, everybody? And if I didn't like the vibe, I would be like, get the fuck out. Mm-hmm. But I rolled in and I like hit it off with everyone right away, especially the 2 guys. Like, we started talking about music, which is not, that's the easiest topic for me to get into because I listen to everything, like I said.
You seem to have some luck with these Stranger Things. Because remember how you assembled with that crew in that house up in Ramsey. By the way, like we said the wrong community. It was Ramsey we're referring to.
No, it was Rundle.
Rundle's a suburban part of Calgary.
Rundle, and then there was Dover. And when I went to Dover was when I met my tribe.
Yeah,
my people, like my
okay, never mind. No, I'm pretty sure.
I think I said Rundle in the last one because I started in Rundle. That was the crack house, and then I went to Dover.
Okay, cool.
But anyways, so yeah, I get there. I hit it off with the guys right away, but the girls were like on another level. They were like, I think they were on acid at the time, but they were like really hot. So I was like, we need to keep these chicks around.
The ultimate equalizer. Hey?
Yeah.
Like literally, like even when you're like, oh, this girl peed all over herself. I'm like, wait, was she hot? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're always good looking.
Yeah. It went from being like, ew, that's unsanitary to like, yeah, water sports.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
But anyway, so these
I'm
two
horrible.
chicks were actually pretty good looking. But
sorry, Jess.
But they were addicty in a sense, allegedly. Anyways, because so I get there and I was like, they were like rubbing on. I sat down on the couch and they're like on me, like rolling around and stuff.
What were the two guys doing?
The guys were just guying it out, right?
Like, but were they boyfriends to these chicks?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
None of them were together.
Okay.
That's the thing that was awesome too, was because it was like everybody was just single. I was like, how did you run into this Randy? Like, or buddy. How did you run into this buddy? And he was like,
you can know more than one Randy, you know. I'm not blurring out the name 5 times. It's Randy, whatever. You know more than one Randy, dude.
He was just like so drunk at this point. He can't really even like talk to me. And he ended up passing out on the couch. And it was just me and these random people. And anyways, this is actually a funny story because this is the first time I did acid too. So anyways, he passes out and these chicks are like, they told me they were on acid and they were like, we're coming down now. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what to do for you. Like, we got beers and stuff. And they were like, no problem. We'll just go down. We'll stand on the corner and we'll just say, we'll give blowjobs for anybody who gives us $5, $10. And I was like, what? Yeah. So anyways, they legit said, like, they ran out of acid and they were like, we'll just go suck a couple dicks and we'll get money down on the corner. And I was like, no, like if you want money, I'll just like give you money. Like, you don't need to, like, I was like, you don't need to go like put your body out there. Like, look at you. You guys are good looking, you know, like,
you're a good man.
Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. So I just gave them money to get drugs and they ended up getting meth.
Oh God.
And when they got it, they were like, he wants one, and they like crushed it up, and I was like, what is this? And they were like, it's meth, and I was like, oh fuck.
At this point, this is allegedly part 2.
Allegedly,
so you already know what you're getting into this time.
Yeah, so that's
you're like,
I was
fuck, I'm gonna like this for too much, and now
it's like,
now you're
like, I don't really want
a couple day merry-go-round.
Yeah,
no, fuck.
But me being me, I was like, no, maybe 4 or 5 beers deep at this point. So I was like, fuck it. At that fucking level where I was like, sure, you know, when in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I've always kind of been, but not anymore. I'm a lot low key now. But anyways, so I was like, yeah, let's try it. So we did it, and yeah, it was awesome, like it always is. And then
until it's awesome while it's happening.
While it's happening,
yeah. Then it's a gong show.
While it's
fix
happening,
your life
like,
together after.
And then it's like,
yeah.
Anyways, I get a call from my buddy. And he's from the island, and he's in Calgary. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, man, I'm coming by. Where do you live? And I was like, I live downtown. He was like, well, I'm downtown right now. And I was like, then come on by. And he was like, sick. So he comes on by, and like me and him graduated together. Shout out. You know who you are. I'm not
Randy again, I guess.
Yeah, it's Randy. Yeah, another Randy.
Yeah.
Anyways. So he rolls in, and he was kind of blown away that like all this was happening in my house, and I was just like, this is so improv. Dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm down. And then this is around when the chicks, I think, started to like come down. Well, because they're doing, and to do meth, you have to do it.
Yeah.
constantly. Now it's all gone. Now they're like, all right,
They probably felt, rotten. They probably felt at that point between
Probably pretty bad.
they're probably just like, oh, like
it's
just
probably horrible,
like
man.
fuck, dude. Like,
Anyways, they were like, we're out, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I get a different phone call from another chick I knew at the time, and she was like, hey, I'm having a house party, and she lives just down off 17th Ave or whatever. And she was like, we're having a house party. And I was like, word, me and my buddy are going to roll through. Or no, she came by my place. She came by my place because she was close by, I think. Anyways, she rolls in, and my buddy had a bunch of cash because he had just done a cash job or something. And he was like, he had done acid before. I'd never done acid. And yeah, they were like, let's get some acid. So he ended up getting like 10 tabs, I think. And yeah, we went going over to her place and went to the house party, and I did acid. And the whole time I did it, the first time I did it, I was just walking around the party, and I was talking to everybody, and I wasn't feeling anything. I was feeling nothing really. Every so often, I'd go sit out on the roof, and I would just look up at the stars, and I'd be with her, and we would just look up at the stars, and I would like think I would see like shooting stars. But other than that, I was just like really talkative. Until around 6 a.m. the next day when we were back at my place, because we walked from her place to my place, and we hung out at my place until the morning. And we're sitting there, we're watching Rick and Morty.
Fuck yeah.
Love Rick and Morty.
Love Rick and Morty.
We're watching Rick
too
and
bad
Morty.
the show's kind of in a weird spot. You heard what happened, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, keep going.
He like all charges were like he beat him.
Did he?
You know? Yeah.
Okay, I didn't.
He beat him.
Okay.
And he still isn't coming back.
Wait, so
he's so hurt that the show dropped him right away,
and everyone assumed for the worst.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Okay, so
he won because he was like, "This is false."
I didn't even know that. That's fucking crazy.
Dude, it happened a couple weeks ago. The final verdict, it was he walked away scot free because
he got fucking tarnished for sorry.
Nothing.
Anyway, back to your story here. Well, like I'll look at my Rick and Morty.
Anyways, we're watching Rick and Morty, and it starts kicking in, and I was like, "Whoa, this is trippy!" Like. Shit's starting to change colors on the TV and stuff, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I like got up.
There's a massive delayed, like
way delayed because I had 4 tabs.
What do you think caused? Because it sounds like it was like almost a 12-hour delay.
Often the first time you try a drug, it doesn't really hit you because you have to like. I don't know. It's like
it's almost like your brain.
The
receptors
brain
are
thinks
closed
you're
off.
supposed to be tripping out, and then you don't trip out.
Right.
You know, like you kind of like contradict the trip almost in a sense because every except for like the drugs that's like gets you messed up like meth and coke and weed and everything like that, it's like that shit like you're gonna get high no matter what. But like often the first time it's like you don't get high. Anyways, it was a late fuse for sure because it hit me at 6 a.m. and I walked outside. This was when we were living on the 24th floor. I walked outside and we had a perfect view of the sunrise of our balcony. And I pulled my lazy boy out onto the thing, brewed myself a French press coffee, sat out there and just watched the sunrise. And let me tell you, to this day, I don't think I've seen a more pretty, beautiful, amazing thing in my life. I started crying just sitting there drinking my coffee. I was like, this is the greatest moment I will ever experience. You know, like it was like the whole the whole sky was just like a radiant rainbow of just like colors, just firecrackers going off in the sky, and I was like sitting there just enjoying it. I started crying and she came out and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, it's just so good. It's so pretty. But yeah, that was that time.
Yeah, that's a more pleasant story.
Really pleasant. This whole podcast was a lot more pleasant.
Yeah.
Other than like the new.
Well, maybe we're different catalogs today from from last time.
I honestly coming into the second one, I did kind of want to like. I was like, I told a lot of like.
That one. The first one was.
I got a lot of good stories too.
Yeah, you know? The first one was just naturally turned into a party kind of like storytelling mode with some lessons to learn. Yeah. I don't know. See, every day's different, man. The flow of every day is different, you know.
And what do I always say? Just
go with the flow. Go with the flow.
Right. One day your life is chaos. The next minute you're on cloud 9.
Right? Yeah. Like you don't like like Forrest Gump said, life is a box of chocolates. You really don't know what you're going to get. What you're going to get. Yeah. Hey, Fraser, man, I'm going to wind this down right now. Thanks for coming on.
Definitely.
Good luck in Vancouver Island. If I'm ever out there, I'm giving you a shout.
Absolutely.
If you're ever in here in Calgary again,
I'm coming by.
Come by again and hop on again. I mean, fuck, maybe next time we'll just like talk sports. You know?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm a huge sports fan too.
Fuck yeah,
Love
dude.
it.
Oh, you should listen to the most recent podcast we had on. Remember that Michael Jordan, that basketball debate we had last time off the air? That happened again, but with these people, like with the crew down at the Bear and Kilt. What up, Phil and Adam Miller?
Love
fucking
that
had a great time.
Man.
Yeah,
Bear and Kilt is the place.
Yeah, we can just like dive into something like that too, you know. Then we don't have to do a disclaimer and worry about you fucking literally saying Randy's name like 20 times. Well, which Randy is it?
Nah, there's so many Randys. I dated a Randy actually.
So that was the one, guys. That was the one.
Yeah. Fuck that bitch.
Okay.
Anyways.
Hey, so Kaks Bar Podcast, we're officially open. We're open. Grand opening's happening right now. But by the time this podcast comes out tomorrow, it will be the grand opening was yesterday to tomorrow.
Whatever, man. Just come by, get a drink.
Exactly.
Get on the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. 1006 First Street, Southeast Calgary, and all the social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Apple, all at Kaks Bar Podcast. The website is kaksbarpodcast.com. And there you can actually book out the podcast studio on the website. Follow the link down to the studio portion and it'll send an email and we'll verify if the room's taken or not. And you can film your own podcast as well. Fraser.
Dude.
Boom.
Love it, man.
All right, everyone, have a good day. And come on down, okay? All right, have a good one. Peace.